Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel's Match Chat, and this is episode 252 of Mel's Match Chat. How is everybody doing this afternoon? Um, I've just had a crappy week this week. Unfortunately, I have to announce I have had another death in my family. My great aunt Tilly has passed on, and I was at the funeral yesterday, well, yesterday night, and let me tell you something. It doesn't get any easier to say goodbye because as time goes on, I'm gonna be in my I'm gonna be in that position, and it's like my mortality. You're questioning it every single day. Um, we're gonna get right into the run throughs and whatnot. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to go right into it. So let's get to it. Let's get to the people that I promote. I promote Harry's at harrys.com. Get all your toiletries and shaving essentials there. Also, go to maestroclassics.com. Get all your beard essentials there. Please go check out um, Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Trust me, if you want to murder your thirst, go check out Liquid Death. And they have three awesome flavors: mango orange, mixed berry, and lime. Also, go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Go and check out a limited edition. It's going to be over before you know it. You better grab yourself a box. And it's blueberry vanilla. Also, please go check out their permanent brew. It's the espresso. And sooner or later, we're going to get our pumpkin spice. I am so excited. I cannot wait to get a box of that to try it. I am so excited. I didn't get a chance to do it last year because I was kept putting it off and putting it off. And now I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be caught slipping. Also, please go check out three independent independent wrestling companies. HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. And it's been announced that Swerve Strickland is making his way to House of Glory. Also, House of Black there. Loki's replacement for Killer Cross will be Bandito. Everything's going to be happening this weekend coming up. So I think it's this weekend. Yeah, August 28th is this weekend. So go if you can't get tickets, I don't know if there's any tickets left, but try your hardest. If you want to go, try to go get tickets. Go check out hogwrestling.net. And if you want to watch it, comfort of your own home, go check out Fight TV, and you can order it there. I've already ordered it, so don't worry about it. Please also go check out two independent wrestling companies from Pennsylvania, Sanctuary and Outbreak Wrestling. So go check them out. And now let's get to it. Let's get to SmackDown from last week. And get this rolling and rolling. SmackDown starter off is confirmed to have a fatal five-way match to determine the number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship match between Sheamus, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Ricochet, and Sami Zayn. We will also see tonight Natalya and Sonya Deville taking on NXT's Toxic Attraction in another match for the women's tag team title tournament. SmackDown begins with Ronda Rousey jumping over the barricade and entering the ring. Rousey says that she paid her fine last week and she's not leaving tonight until she's reinstated. Adam Pearce comes out with security guards by his side. Pearce says he understands Rousey is upset, but she cannot hijack the show like this, and Pierce asks Rousey to leave the ring peacefully. Rousey denies, and then Pierce sends security in the ring, and Rousey then proceeds to take out the guards one by one. And Rousey locks one guard in an armbar before Pierce sends in the police officers who handcuffed Rousey and escort her backstage into the police car. The police, as the police car drives away, another car drives in. Out from the door comes Roman Reigns, who will have a face-to-face meeting with Drew McIntyre later tonight. First match starts off as we come back from commercial. Natalya and Sonya Deville versus Toxic Attraction. JC Jade and Gigi Dolan. Our opening tag team match begins with Natalya and Dolan in a headlock. Dolan locks in a waist lock and then slams Natalya to the mat. Natalya tags in Deville, who hits a big shoulder tackle. Deville hits a spear and follows with a jackknife cover for a 2 count. Dolan tags Jade in, and Deville slams Jade head off the turnbuckle. Deville charges to the corner, but Jade dodges, causing Deville to crash shoulder first into the ring post. We come back from commercial break with Dolan Irish whipping Deville in the corner and tagging Jade in. Jade hits a cannonball splash in the corner and covers for a 2 count. Jade hits a back elbow and goes for a sharpshooter, but Deville kicks free and makes a tag to Natalya, who hits a side Russian leg sweep and follows with a vertical suplex. Jade hits a back elbow, but Natalya immediately responds with a German suplex. Dolan tags in and hits Natalya with a lariat. Dolan covers, but Deville breaks the cover at 2. Jade and Deville brawl to the outside, and Jade throws Deville to the barricade. Dolan rolls up Natalya in the ring for a 2 count. Jade makes the blind tag. Natalya goes for the sharpshooter, but Jade runs in from behind and roll up for a 3. Toxic Attraction moves on, but they were taken out because Gigi Dolan is hurt, so there's going to be a fatal 4-way last chance match tomorrow night. Well, not tonight, tomorrow night. Tonight. We go backstage with Sami Zayn. He is seen entering Roman Reigns' locker room. Zayn begins to tell Roman about the problems he had recently with the Usos, especially Jey. Zayn goes as far as to call Jey Uso ungrateful for everything Zayn has done for the bloodline. To Zayn's surprise, Reigns agrees and goes to leave. Zayn sees Roman Reigns' phone ringing and says Jey with a nice little contact photo for Reigns' cousin. Zayn answers the phone and talks to Jey and then tells Reigns the Usos will not be there tonight because they were in Canada, so they couldn't go in because of their rap sheet. We come back live with Maxim male models in the ring. Dupree begins his promo on Mansois and Massey. Then Hit Row comes out to interrupt. Dupree asks that this is a scheduled appearance for the Maximum male models, and none of them are maximum male model material. Top Dollar shoves Dupree to the mat, and Top Dollar and Ashanti clear the ring and begin an impromptu musical performance. Maxine Dupree is seen dancing along with the music before Max Dupree puts the end to that and takes her to the back. We come back from a commercial break. We have Sheamus versus Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin versus Ricochet versus Sami Zayn. Now, what I thought that Sami Zayn was going to win because he's from Montreal and they were in Montreal. But I completely understand why they did what they did, who they had winning. The Fatal 5-Way match begins with Corbin immediately exiting the ring. Ricochet hits Zayn with a Hurricanrana. Corbin catches Ricochet and hits a chokeslam, covers, but but all three of the other wrestlers rush in to break up the cover. We come back from a commercial break live with all five wrestlers brawling outside the ring. Sheamus slams Ricochet to the barricade, and Corbin throws Zayn to the barricade on the other side. Corbin throws Ricochet in the ring and then Irish whips him to the corner. Moss rolls in the ring and Corbin slams him to the corner. Corbin hits Moss with a big lariat and Corbin hits an uppercut to knock Zayn outside the ring. As Michael Cole says, he made Zayn look like El Generico there. Whatever the connection Cole sees between the two. I was eking at this point. We have an El Generico reference. Oh my god, if this was a month ago, we wouldn't have heard that. Shit, we wouldn't be having this match. Honestly. Ricochet hits Moss with a crossbody, then hits Corbin with a tornado DDT. Ricochet hits a running shooting star press and covers Corbin for a 2 count. Sheamus hits Moss with the Irish curse, and Zayn runs in and Sheamus hits him with an Irish curse. Sheamus throws Zayn in the ring and hits a cutter to hang Sheamus up on the top rope. Zayn hits a dive over the top rope to take out Sheamus and Corbin. Zayn hits Ricochet with a Michinoku driver and covers for a 2 count. Zayn goes for a hula kick, but Moss runs in and grabs Zayn. Zayn counters and hits the blue thunder bomb, and Zayn gets a 2 count. Sheamus meets Zayn on the top rope, and Sheamus hits white noise to Zayn from the top rope. Zayn is seen being taken to the back with an apparent injury. We come back with Moss hitting Sheamus with a fallaway slam from the middle rope. Ricochet hits Moss with a springboard moonsault. Corbin hits Ricochet with a big boot and follows with a neck breaker. Sheamus sends Corbin over the top rope with a lariat. Sheamus hits a running knee to Moss, and Sheamus covers for a 2 count. Moss dodges the bro kick and slams Sheamus down. Ricochet hits the recoil on Moss and goes for the top rope to hit Sheamus with a shooting star press, and Ricochet covers, but Corbin breaks the cover. The Montreal crowd pops huge as Sami Zayn comes back out to the match while clutching his injured shoulder. Zayn hits Ricochet with an exploder suplex and follows with the helluva kick. Zayn covers, but Corbin pulls Zayn out of the ring. Corbin throws Zayn shoulder first to the ring post. Sheamus hits Corbin with a bro kick and covers Corbin for 3. Sheamus picks up the win, and he is going to Clash at the Castle. Next weekend is going to be crazy. I'm going to leave everything on a live. I'm going to do a live on Twitter, and then I'm going to try to download the freaking video, and I'm going to put it on here on YouTube or something, and do a short. I'll try to do a short on that. Moving on. We come back from a commercial break. Back live with Shotzi hitting a kick to the head. Morgan gets a crucifix. Wait a second. I just went completely. Okay, never mind. Coming back, we have Liv Morgan versus Shotzi. The match begins with Morgan hitting a drop kick. Morgan charges to the corner, but Shotzi moves out of the way, and Shotzi slams Morgan face first off the ring apron. We come back from another commercial break, and we have Shotzi hitting a kick to the head. Morgan gets a crucifix pin for a 2 count, and Shotzi pops up and hits a German suplex into a cover for a 2. Morgan hits Oblivion and makes the cover for the 3. Liv Morgan is the winner. We go to commercial. SmackDown returns with Roman Reigns making his way out to the ring by himself. This time, Reigns grabs the mic and tells Montreal to acknowledge him. Reigns says that he is not here every week, and that people try to get away with saying things. Reigns says that anyone who says anyone other than him is the face of the company, they are lying, and that Reigns is the one man who can say they carry the company on their back. Reigns says McIntyre is beneath him, and then McIntyre comes down to the ring to confront Reigns. McIntyre says Reigns does not represent the title as they deserve to be represented, and he does not deserve to be champion. McIntyre says he sees fear and concern in Reigns' eyes now that he is out there alone against McIntyre. McIntyre says they're alone tonight and he feels like a fight tonight. Reigns and McIntyre begin to brawl in the ring. McIntyre hits a belly-to-belly throw, and McIntyre goes for a Claymore, but Sami Zayn runs in to take the Claymore for Reigns. Reigns hits a McIntyre with a Superman punch and goes for the spear, but McIntyre hits Claymore to Reigns. McIntyre goes off the air with McIntyre. SmackDown goes off the air with McIntyre holding up both championship belts over Reigns' body. Okay, we're going to go right into Monday Night Raw. You know this. I do WWE first, and then I do an AEW next. Monday Night Raw featured the continuation of the Women's Tag Team Tournament in semifinal matchup with Io Sky and Dakota Kai facing Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Also tonight will be the return of two of Toronto's own. Edge is set to take on Damian Priest, and Trish Stratus will make a guest appearance. The show starts out with cameras racing to Gorilla, where a brawl has broken out between Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. Officials try to break the two up, but they have gone into the crowd to continue fighting. Riddle escapes officials and dives over the barricade and onto the officials and Rollins, and the scene breaks up as Rollins heads towards backstage. We preview Edge versus Damian Priest, Io Sky and Dakota Kai versus Asuka and Alexa Bliss. Next, a huge pop for Trish Stratus as she comes down the ramp. The Hall of Famer has come home for Monday Night Raw. She mentions that it will never not be feeling like home as the fans cheer for Trish to give them one more match. Trish says that she's been doing a lot of thinking lately as Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai interrupts, and we head to our first commercial break. Now, she's like 45. I'm going to give her between 43 and 45 years old. Why did she say that she was going to retire? She has a fucking list of people that she could do an Edge run. Charlotte, fuck her. She doesn't get her last match. She doesn't deserve it. Anyway, we come back from the break and we see Bayley cutting a promo about how excited she is to be on Raw, especially with Trish Stratus. Bayley tells Trish how much of a star she is, even internationally, but asks Trish why is she even here. Trish responds that she is here for her fellow Toronto native Edge's big match tonight. She also starts to say that she has something to say before Kai and Sky cut her off. Bayley tells Trish that she is sick of her being in her ring. Bianca Belair comes down quickly to stand side by side with Trish. I'm sorry, but her fucking outfits suck. Her fucking outfits suck. She makes them all. They suck. The fucking shoes that she wears suck. I speak of no lies. I don't have a filter either. Belair mentions that Bayley isn't even in Trish's stratosphere and that she walked so the rest of the women roster could run. Bianca threatens Bayley and tells her to stop being disrespectful. Trish being to tease a match with Bayley if she doesn't stop running her mouth. Alexa Bliss and Asuka come down to help Trish and Bianca with the heels. I have the worst fucking allergies, I swear. Hold on. Oh my goodness gracious me. Whoever has allergies and people say you're faking, you're not. I totally believe you. My nose has been really freaking stuffy all day. Anyway, moving on. The two teams of Io Sky and Dakota Kai and Alexa Bliss and Asuka take the ring, and we begin our opening match of the night. Asuka and Io start the match, but Io runs away as Asuka mocks her. Dakota Kai quickly tags in. Kai heads outside for an 8 count before she tries to get back in. As she's entering the ring, Asuka knocks her back off the apron, and we head to another commercial break. We return with Alexa Bliss and Io and Sky going at it. Bliss gets the advantage and gets a two near falls, but Sky kicks out. Asuka tags in, and Sky gets a quick cheap 2 count. Kai gets the tag and quickly starts the kick to Asuka. Asuka gets the advantage, though and gets the tag into Bliss, who wipes out both Sky and Kai on the outside. Once back inside, Sky and Kai take control of the match and leave Bliss lying as we head to our next break. We return. Kai is still working over Alexa Bliss, who's desperately trying to tag in Asuka. She finally gets the hot tag, and Asuka cleans house. Asuka gets a near fall on Sky, who just gets her shoulders up before the 3. Sky gets control and hits Asuka with a springboard dropkick, but her pitfall is cut off by Bliss. Bliss and Sky hit the outside, and Kai gets 2 counts on Asuka. Bliss comes in and hits a double DDT on Sky and Kai. Then Asuka hits a submission on Kai. Io makes the save, but Bliss heads for the top to go for a twisted Bliss. Kai gets her knees up for a reversal and takes control of Asuka. Asuka gets her Asuka lock put on Kai, who taps but is not the legal competitor. Sky comes in from the outside and hits Asuka with a roll-up pinfall for the win. Sky and Kai will move on to the tag team tournament bracket. We head backstage to Kevin Patrick as interviews Dolph Ziggler. He asks Ziggler how is he going to respond after losing to Theory last week. He says he just wants to help Theory because he has so much potential yet is so arrogant. He's quickly interrupted by Finn Balor. Finn tells him he is sick of the same locker room talk about being a leader. Ziggler quickly slaps Balor and asks if he's going to meet him in the ring. Balor comes to the ring after commercial with Rhea Ripley and a new theme. Balor starts the match on an aggressive throw. Ziggler from the turnbuckle to turnbuckle. During the match, we learn that tonight we will have an Alpha Academy Open Challenge. We go to commercial with Finn Balor dominating the match. After the break, the two men are jockeying for position, and Finn gets the upper hand. Not long enough before Ziggler starts getting momentum and hits Balor with 10 punches on the top of the corner turnbuckle. Ziggler gets a quick 2 count before Balor kicks out. The two men exchange reversals before Balor hits a sit-out powerbomb for a 2 count. Ziggler then hits a nice DDT on Balor for another 2, and both men are lying on the ground, slow to get up. Balor has his 1916 reversed to a famouser for Ziggler, and it gets a near fall. Balor gets Ziggler on the ground and heads to the top for a coup de grace, but Ziggler moves and hits a zigzag instead. Balor somehow kicks out of the move, and at the last millisecond, Ziggler hits Balor with a headbutt and draws the interest of the referee, who checks on Balor while this happens. Rhea Ripley hits Ziggler with a cheap punch. Ziggler then stumbles into the arms of Balor, who hits the 1916 and a coup de grace for the 1-2-3. Balor and Ripley celebrate the victory afterwards. Sarah Schreiber is backstage with Aaliyah as they discuss the women's tag team tournament. Bailey, Sky, and Kai interrupt Aaliyah during the segment. Bailey asks Aaliyah where Raquel Rodriguez is, and Aaliyah says it's none of her business. Trish Stratus comes in and says Aaliyah isn't alone. Aaliyah then asks Bailey for a match later on, which Bailey accepts. As they leave, we notice Adam Pearce with WWE officials talking and holding what seems to be a picture. We will keep an eye on this over the night, as it probably is something to do with Dexter Lumis. Alpha Academy comes out and offer an open challenge as we head to break. Gable comes out and cuts a promo with some cheap heat. The challenge has been accepted, and it's by Kevin Owens, and we get a one-on-one match. The bell rings and KO is on the offense, and the crowd is heavily behind Owens. Gee, I wonder why. Where are they? They're in Canada. No shit. The action falls to the outside shortly before KO rolls Gable in. Gable gets a short bit of offense in before Owens starts taking over again. The action goes back to the outside, and Gable hits Owens with a quick suplex to the mat. KO gets spiked on the apron as we head to commercial break. After the break, we see Gable have the advantage over the battered Owens. KO quickly retains momentum through the reversing a suplex with a back elbow and a cannonball into the corner. Owens hits a frog splash halfway across the ring for a near fall. Gable reverses a pop-up powerbomb and stunner with a German suplex, then connects on a diving headbutt. Owens kicks out at 2. They both head to the top, and Owens hits Gable with a avalanche suplex, but Owens only gets the 2. Owens then goes for a swanton bomb, and Gable moves out of the way. Gable then goes for a moonsault of his own, but KO moves. He quickly hits Gable with a super kick and a pop-up powerbomb for the win. After the match, Otis attacks KO, and while the heels have the advantage, shortly Owens takes both big men out, with Gable being powerbomb on the top of Otis to end the segment. After this, we see Judgment Day in the back. Balor mentions how Ripley has dominated Dominic over the past weeks. He also says that Rey Mysterio is 6-1 mine. Priest says that just leaves one legend left, and that will be Edge, defeated later on tonight. Next, we have Aaliyah making her way to the ring to take on Bayley, who will be in her first match since returning from injury at SummerSlam. Before Bayley makes her entrance, we get news of the 4 teams in the Second Chance Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. They will be Sonya Deville and Natalya, Shotzi and Xia Li, Doudrop and Nikki ASH, and Tamina and Dana Brooke. Bayley makes her way to the ring, and it's her first match since February 19, 2021. Aaliyah hits a couple of quick roll-ups, but to no avail. It noted that Aaliyah is also in her hometown tonight. She's another Canadian, if you didn't know that by now. Some really nice offense. Bayley caught off guard. Bayley starts to take control with some stomps in the corner. Bayley gets 1 count on Aaliyah and quickly goes for a headlock. Aaliyah gets up, but Bayley maintains momentum. Aaliyah tries to hit a crossbody in the corner, but Bayley catches her and hits her with a double knee stomp. Aaliyah kicks out and takes action to the outside to get the edge and quickly takes it back in the ring. After some back and forth, Aaliyah gets a single leg crab on Bayley, who escapes the move by pulling Aaliyah's hair. Bayley It's the Rose Plant for the win in a very competitive match between the two ladies. After the match, Kai and Sky come down to celebrate with their leader. We head backstage. We see AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley walk the hallways and notice something on fire. Adam Pearce and the officials are still nearby with officials in riot gear. Ciampa and the Miz make their way to the ring for their tag team match against Styles and Lashley. After the commercial, we see the entrance of both Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles. Ciampa and Styles start the match with Styles getting the upper and with a drop kick. Styles tags in Lashley, who hits Ciampa with a standing vertical suplex. Ciampa, however, recovers and makes the tag to the Miz. Lashley tags Styles, who makes quick work of the Miz, and Ciampa gets thrown over the top rope onto his partner as we go to commercial. We return, and Ciampa gets a 2 count on Styles. The heels are taking it to Styles. Styles jumps on the Miz's back to get the tag, but comes up short. Miz then takes Styles to the corner, where Ciampa has his way with Styles. Throwing him over the barricade, Styles is still struggling to get the tag as Ciampa gets Miz back in. Styles finally gets to Lashley, who cleans house. The crowd really seems to be behind Lashley here. Lashley levels Ciampa on the outside ring post, then knocks Miz to the floor. Ciampa recovers to hit Willow's Bell on Lashley for a near fall. Lashley folds Ciampa with a spear and a near fall, and Styles takes out the Miz with a phenomenal forearm. He celebrates, but it's quickly taken out by an intruder from the crowd. The match ends with a disqualification as Dexter Lumis returns his helmet and kidnaps the Miz. Styles hits Ciampa with a post-match phenomenal forearm, and Lashley hits Ciampa with a spear. They have not been any revealed intentions of Lumis kidnapping Miz. Following, we get the hype package for the main event of the night, Damian Priest and Edge. After the commercial, we get a surprise return from Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Gargano. He gets a massive pop from Toronto crowd. He tries to start his promo. He is interrupted by a loud Johnny Wrestling. Chants from the fans. He thanks the fans for reminding himself who he was and introduces himself to those who don't. He mentions his entire lineage during NXT run. He also mentions that he won the NXT Tag Team titles in the very building that they are in tonight, in Toronto. He said he wasn't sure he wanted to wrestle anymore until he remembered that his childhood dream consists of becoming the Intercontinental champion, the U.S. champion, and the WWE champion. He goes on to say that he wouldn't be much of a dad if he didn't show his son that he could do anything he wanted to. Gargano tells the crowd he's betting on himself, and he confirms he is now in WWE. So for the people who thought that this was a fucking one-off on Monday and Johnny Gargano was going to be on Wednesday, you got another thing coming to you, sugar pies. Nope. He's WWE. He's got his best friend there. He's got his uncle there, his other uncle or dad, whatever. He's got Shawn and Triple H. You really think he's going to go to AEW knowing that he's going to be taken care of by the people who took care of him in NXT? Please, feed me more fucking bullshit if you're going to keep doing that shit. Gargano is shortly interrupted by a familiar face in Theory. Theory, as you may remember, was in the way with Gargano in NXT. Loud, "Who's your daddy?" chants hit Theory as he enters the ring. They discuss the changes over the last 9 months in each of their lives. Theory tells Gargano that all the things Gargano wants to do, he's already done. Theory does credit Gargano for his success in taking him under his wing. He then says that Gargano is like the rookie to his vet. Sweetheart. Sweetheart, you're no fucking vet. You are just as much a rookie than everybody else. He's the veteran. All right? So, uh, and he will take him under his wing to show him the way. Theory tells Gargano if he doesn't want to do that, then he can just go away. Then he teases a familiar handshake, but Gargano hits Theory with a super kick and heads back to the and heads to the back. It's great to see Gargano back in a wrestling ring again. After the commercial, we preview next week's Raw, which will take place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Another hometown WWE Hall of Famer, Kurt Angle, will make an appearance at the show. We are now ready for tonight's main event between Damian Priest and WWE Hall of Famer Edge. Priest comes to the ring solo, as he mentions he would do last week. Edge comes out next to an outstanding hometown pop. There is a quick pan to the crowd where we see Edge's wife and fellow WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. Edge takes quick advantage of Priest and tosses him outside. Edge then gets a couple of takedowns before Priest heads outside. The crowd is 100% behind Edge, the hometown hero. Edge playing a lot of mind games with Priest early. This is a good callback to when Edge told Priest he taught him everything Priest knows, but not everything he himself knows. We see Edge give Priest a powerbomb on the barricade before we head to commercial break. During the commercial, which is picture in picture, Edge dominates Priest all around the outside area. As we near the end of the commercial, they still are on the outside, but this time Priest has the advantage after throwing Edge into the ring post. As we return, we see simultaneously big boots which knock both men down. Shortly after, Edge takes the top turnbuckle and hits aerial move to the outside to knock down Priest. Priest ends up getting back in control and hits Edge with a razor's edge through the announce table. During the commercial, Priest takes advantage of a near lifeless Edge. Priest hits a big clothesline for a 2 count. Priest and Edge take it to the top rope, and Edge reverses Priest's move with a top rope hurricanrana. Edge immediately attempts a spear, but is met with a kick and an unprettier. Thank you, Christian Gage. This move got a 2 for Priest. A back and forth ends with Edge hitting a DDT, a big DDT, on Priest, but only gets another 2 count. Priest hits the Reckoning, but Priest doesn't go for a pin. He looks to end Edge with a spear of his own. Edge reverses the spear with a South of Heaven. However, Priest gets back at Edge with a South of Heaven of his own. Priest goes for a concerto as the referee is knocked outside. Edge rolls back into the ring and comes back to put on a crossface to Priest with a leg of the chair. Some more action occurs, but finishes with Edge hitting Priest with a spear, and then a 3 count. Edge goes to the outside to get 2 chairs to hit concerto on Priest, but hit with a low blow by Ripley. The entire Judgment Day comes to attack Edge. Ripley goes to pick up a chair, but is met by Beth Phoenix, who stops the group from attacking her husband. We're going to go right into NXT. NXT tonight is being advertised from the as being coming from the Performance Center. All the fallout from last week's Heatwave episode starting with Gallus follow up their attack on Dynamite. Reclaiming the NXT UK Tag Team titles, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. Plus, Tyler Bate looks to make a statement when he takes on Von Wagner. Grayson Waller invites Apollo Crews to his new talk show. Tiffany Stratton and Wendy Chu try to put their issues to bed in a lights out match, and more. Let's go and get right to the first match. The NXT The show opens up with a recap of the events of the Heatwave last week. Braun Breaker makes his entrance to get on the mic. He asks Orlando where his dogs are and says J.D. McDonough proved last week that he's one of the very best in the world. And after the match, NXT UK champion Tyler Bate has made his presence felt, so he figured Bate didn't fly all the way across the world for the Sky Miles. So come on, down and talk. Tyler Bate goes to the ring. He thanks Braun for the kindest invitation and congratulates him on his win last week. Big respect. He connects in that he's correct in that he's not here for the miles. And the NXT UK has been host to some of the best of the business has to offer. He is proud to be the flag bearer of the NXT UK as the first and last NXT United Kingdom champion. With NXT Europe right around the corner, he can't see a better way to kick off the unifying their titles. Braun says he knows how great Bate is, what a threat he is. And when he thinks of NXT UK, he thinks of Tyler Bate. But this isn't NXT UK. This is the NXT where the best stars in the world are. And if you notice, they never said 2.0. I was fucking thrilled. Every time they didn't say 2.0, I got a smile on my face and I wanted to do this to Vince McMahon. Breaker agrees and they should just be the one NXT champion. So in 2 weeks at Worlds Collide, we want to make history. Champion versus champion, title for title. They shake hands on it, and now hold their respective belts up at one another. The hype is real for Gallus. Gallus makes their entrance. We cut to Briggs and Jensen pulling Fallon Henley out of the brawl to send us to break. So Briggs and Jensen versus Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. And I'm glad that they kept their names. And I think what they should do is for the people who got their name changed, they change it back. Wolfgang pulling Briggs into the corner, beating him down. Quick tags. Josh pulls him to the corner. Tags to Jensen, laying him out with shoulder blocks. Running Bulldog. Brooke ends up on the wrong side of town, but makes a tag to Briggs. They clean house and we go to break. Back from commercial, Gallus is in control and working Jensen over. Hot tag. Briggs light him up. Lash Legend comes down to cheap shot Fallon Henley. Pretty Deadly join the fray, referee counting as the champs get caught up and caught out of the action. Gallus wins by countout. Post-match, Diamond Mine attack and lay out Gallus. This is going to get interesting. Grayson Waller is yelling backstage to send us to break. Back from commercial, we get a Chase U vignette where he brought in a guest trainer from NXT UK who roughs up his students and leaves them with a note to look up Billy Robinson. Grayson Waller is and who was over there was Nathan Frazier, which that's Mr. William Regal's son. They keep the son, but they get rid of the father. Makes no fucking sense, but That was Vince McMahon. We blame everything on Vince McMahon, okay? He's Grayson Waller is in the ring to host Grayson Waller Effect. He says NXT is aching for a show like his, and he knows he's going to be the buzz of all WWE. No, we don't need this. We never needed it in the past. He shrugs off Johnny Wrestling chants and he says this show is about him, and he introduces his guest tonight, a former Intercontinental and United States champion who is here in NXT to take opportunities away from everybody, Apollo Crews. It should be noted there is a picture-in-picture camera pointed at Waller's face at all times. Apollo Crews, he comes to the ring. He is impressed with the set and the fan interaction and sits down, but to adjust his chair to be the proper height. Waller asks him how does it feel to be a clout chaser, and he gets it. Everybody wants to steal from the Grayson Waller hype train. Crews says he's here because he was born in NXT and he found something missing in himself. He should have never been brought up that early. He needed a good 2 years and at least an NXT championship run. That's my thing in a nutshell. He came back to find out what that was. He knew some people would hate it and be jealous. Like Waller Grayson asks him what happened to his accent and his native Nigerian garb. And Crews does the accent for a second before telling him not to get it twisted. He's still Nigerian warrior and he's proud of his heritage. The thing is that he got too caught up on his past, and that's a part of why he's here in NXT. Waller takes questions from Instagram asking him what the visions are about, and Crews says he's a huge visual thinker and there's no greater force than knowing yourself. Grayson mocks him as a fortune teller. They get up and stand in front of the desk, and Waller asks how it feels to know that he's going to get run out of NXT. Crews says he's not getting run out of NXT and asks Grayson how it feels to be a low-budget version of The Miz. Waller takes as a compliment and asks Apollo how it feels to go home and tell his kids he couldn't cut it on Raw, he couldn't cut it on SmackDown. Crews says he tells them their dad was a champ on Monday, he was a champ on Friday, and he's soon to be a champ on Tuesday. He lays Waller out and says that's the Apollo Crews effect. Gallus is walking backstage with security escort when they run into Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly mocks them and says they're going to take their titles back first and we're going to break. Back from commercial, we get a Tyler Bate hype reel. I love this. I love those things. They're awesome. Stone runs Bate down and Wagner says Tyler Bates the big strong boy. Well, he's a big strong man and Bate won't make it to Worlds Collide. We get a website video of Javier Bernal bragging about how he's going to knock Cameron Grimes off in his debut this week. Cameron Grimes versus Javier Bernal. Joe Gacy gets on the mic and wishes Grimes good luck before the bell. Collar elbow tie-up. Bernal protesting a bit too much. A knee, right hand whip reverse. Cameron drops him with a kick. Javier trying to put offense together, but soon enough, Grimes cuts him off and with an up kick and a back body drop. Off ropes, shoulder blocks, whip cross, kitchen sink knee, sliding kick. Grimes lines up. Cameron Grimes wins by pinfall with a game fin. We get a hype reel on Blair Davenport, Bea Priestley. So for all the men out there that were saddened that she was with Will Ospreay, no more. You got your opportunity to make an impact. Indy Hartwell makes her entrance and we go to break. Back from commercial, we get a video promo on Alba Fire calling Lash Legend out. Blair Davenport versus Indy Hartwell. Collar elbow into the rope. Clean break. Right back on it. Into the corner. Dirty break with a shove from Davenport. Hartwell returns. One. Near fall. Headlock takeover. Shoulder block. Another takeover. Blair gets a Cobra clutch. Indy counters with a senton. Spinebuster gets a deep two, passing Davenport to the apron. Running boot, Hardwell up on the turnbuckles, but Blair trips her to the mat. Nope, small package, no. Davenport with a kick suplex lift. Blair Davenport wins by pinfall with a short brainbuster. Post-match, Davenport hits a Kamigoya on Indy for a good measure. She gets on the mic and says most menacing mistress of NXT UK has arrived and just wasted one of the best this division has to offer. She was the number one contender in UK, so she figures that the NXT Women's Championship will just do fine, and she's the rightful heir to the title. Enter Mandy Rose. She comes down to the ring. She introduces herself and explains that she's the most dominant women's champion around, and you can't just come here and call shots. Sweetheart, the only reason why you got that is because of fucking who was in charge. Now you're gonna lose that title very, very soon. You're gonna be like yesterday's news, okay? You're gonna be back on the main roster, sitting in catering with Sonya Deville, eating those donuts, okay? Then we have Meika Satomura is here. She gets on the mic and explains that Mandy isn't the most dominant women's champion. That's her. Rose admits that she's a legend, but she can't think of a better way to put respect on her name than to beat a legend like her. Satomura challenges her to meet the final boss at Worlds Collide. Davenport screams about being forgotten about the number one contender, and Mako goes with it, accepting a triple threat. Tiffany Stratton is interviewed backstage. She says whoever walks out of Worlds Collide as champion will have to deal with her. And after she beats Wendy Chu, she won't even able to show her face around here. Tony D'Angelo lectures the Legado del Fantasma remnants about their action last week, but says he's forgiven Guy and the past is the past. And the future starts tonight with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro win for the D'Angelo family. We come back from a commercial break. We get a J.D. McDonald video package about how he sacrificed himself at Heatwave and he'd do it again. Because you never truly challenged if you run away from uncomfortable situations. And he wishes Braun luck at Worlds Collide and says he'll see him on the other side. Wesley, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter are shown watching backstage and being grossed out about JD's weird training methods. Chance and Carter say they'll take on all comers at NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. Indy Hartwell on the apron moping about feeling like rock bottom. She talks about how great Belair is, how she always is the problem, and 4 months ago she looked in the mirror and says she's going to do better. And we stand on her own 2 feet. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know what's going on with my screen. Hopefully it doesn't shut off right now. Two feet. And she is in the same spot she was after Stand and Deliver. It doesn't make sense. Dexter Lumis appears on the far side of the ring and she turns to see him. They slide in the ring and embrace. They kiss. Dex slides out of the ring and holds the ropes for her before carrying her off in his arms. We see happy couple reach the door to the building, and Loomis gives her a folded piece of art and a kiss before walking out the door to get arrested by waiting police. Indy opens the page and reads a note saying goodbye, Indy, for now. I love you forever as we go to break. Back from commercial, Cora Jade is interviewed backstage. She mocks Roxanne Perez and at length and mocks her fans as losers who never dated a girl. Legado del Fantasma, Del Toro and Joaquin Wild versus the Dyad, Jagger, Reed, and Rip Fowler. Wild and Reed start. Tags made. Match breaks down. Stereo suicide dives from the Legado boys. Gets them yells by Tony D'Angelo to quit with dives and win with match already. Springboard from Del Toro. Rip kicks out. Whip across. Boot up. Yet Jagger with a insecurity and a dropkick. Fowler with a dive. Knocking Cruz to the floor, working him over the double team. A schism hug, then take action back into the ring. Del Toro with an insecurity tag to Wild. La Cazadora arm drag takes Reed out. A tornado DDT. Joaquin running hot. Corner lariat into the tag. Double running suplex cover, but Fowler breaks it up. Joaquin rolls through, crucifix pin, backed into the rope, wheelbarrow running dropkick, get him up. Dyad win by pinfall, ticket to mayhem on Joaquin Wild. Post-match, Gacy stands tall with his boys and extends an arm to Cameron Grimes, waiting in the crowd. Tony D'Angelo berates Wild and Del Toro for losing. Javier Bernal runs into the lady backstage and yells at her to show him some respect. A security guard walks up and tells him off and says he can do whatever he wants. He's big body Javi. The guard tells him he can't talk to women, no matter who he is. Tyler Bate makes his entrance and sends us to the break. We come back. Legado del Fantasma storm out of the arena, frustrated by they got treated by Tony D'Angelo. An SUV rolls up and the window pulls down, revealing Santos Escobar. He says he wasn't going to leave without them, and Familia stays together. They drive off and they are heading up to SmackDown, I'm hoping. Tyler Bate versus Von Wagner. Wagner picks him up, throws him into the ropes. Bate with a side headlock, shoulder blocks from Von, elevate, wrist lock, a big right hand from Big Strong Boy. A dropkick puts Wagner on one leg, another one mountain punches in the corner, throwing him off as Braun Breaker watches in the back. Corner lariat, clubbing blows, military press, drop, and Bate is in a bad way. Sleeper hold, plier ringing it in. Body blows, duck a lariat. Tyler throwing punches to get back into it. Underhook, back body drop, counters catch the crossbody, rib breaker into a fallaway slam. Bate withering in pain, Von stalking him, right hands a military press. Tyler slips out and cracks an elbow across the face. Dropkick sends Walt Wagner crashing to the floor. Bate dives on him, back inside, charging uppercut. Von with elbows, power bomb lift. Tyler fights out with punches, short arm punch from Big Man. Nope. Raining punches down, dropping a knee. Fireman's carry, more elbow blows from Bate, sidestep and boot. Rebound lariat, another lariat attempt. Von blocks a goozle. Tyler flips out, big bolo punches, fire up, rolling kupo kick, exploder suplex, Bate perched up. Tyler Bate wins by pinfall with a corkscrew senton on Tominico. Diamond Mine are chatting backstage, and the Creeds tell Roderick Strong they don't trust him, and Briggs and Jensen roll up to challenge the winner and posture about being the best tag team in NXT. Creed accepts the challenge. Tiffany Stratton makes her ring entrance. We come back from break, and it's Tiffany Stratton versus Wendy Chu lights out match. Slugging it out from the jump to the floor, Stratton brings a tennis racket into it, but Chu takes it from her and whacks her with it. Grabbing a trash can, she dumps it out on Tiffany's head and puts it on her. Whacking the can with the racket back in the ring, shoulder block, wedging a trash can in the ropes. Chu draws Stratton up and whips her at it, but she stops short. Wendy also stops short of it. Whip across, belly to belly suplex to the floor. Tiffany throws her into the steel steps, sending to break. Back from commercial, snap scoop, power slam from Stratton up top, moonsault, but Chu blocks with a chair. Tiffany choking, steer drop brainbuster puts her down. Not enough. Using a turnbuckle to choke Stratton, she crawls and gets her purse from the underneath the ropes and sprays hairspray in Wendy's face. Whacking Chu with trash can powerbomb into the trash can. Cover for two. Tiffany goes for the Vader bomb. Wendy rolls out of the way, gets a pillow, and whacks Stratton with it. She opens the pillow up, pours Legos out on the mat. Full Nelson back. Tiffany wants a German suplex. Blocked, fall away slam, not quite into the Legos. A slam Chu right into the Legos. A running stomp, nope, stumbling to her feet. Stratton gets her purse and boots Wendy out of the ring. She pulls a pot of loose face powder out and dumps it a handful out. Chu kicks the powder into Stratton's face. Full Nelson slam through the bed at ringside. Back in. Wendy Chu wins by pinfall with a Vader bomb. We see at the end Mako Satomura, Blair Davenport, and Mandy Rose signing contracts for their title at Worlds Collide, as well as Tyler Bate and Braun Breaker. And we go right into the AEW. Now I'm going to give you my quick synopsis on what the fuck is Punk thinking that he's all king shit. The only reason why Tony Khan has you is because you're a fucking cash cow. You're a fucking prostitute. Alright? You're a great professional wrestler, but you're a fucking shitty guy. You're a fucking shitty human being. And now I know why I was so right back in the day. Now as I got older, I've realized that the people who I didn't like, and now I'm an adult, and I've seen their work, fucking awesome. But as a human being, you fucking suck, Mr. Phil Brooks. And I don't care if this is a work, I don't care if this should not be happening. This sounds like something from Days of Our Lives. Alright? Keep the fucking shit up. You won't have viewers. Let's see if this over 1 million does next week. Rampage from last week. We start off with Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli and the Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta of Blackpool Combat Club came to the ring to begin the show. Claudio, it's great to stand here in the front of you as your Ring of Honor World Champion, and it feels great to stand in front of one of my idols, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It feels weird. I'm standing in street clothes, but I feel much more comfortable in ring gear defending this title, so I'm going to issue an open challenge for next week. Dustin Rhodes walked out. I will, Claudio. You have a long history for 34 years. I have dreamt of standing here You are holding the world champion heavyweight title. We have a lot in common until you got here. You chased that belt forever, and now you've got it. This is a dream of mine. You've accepted my challenge. I'll give you the best natural Dustin Rhodes you've ever seen. Claudio, I know it keeps you going. I know it's the reason why you've had the best run in you right here in AEW. If you want a chance at my title and you promise you'll bring in your A game, you're on. Dustin Rhodes, I'll give you my word. I will see you next week in Cleveland. Yeah, that's where Johnny Gargano was going to be making his AEW debut. People are stupid. I actually read a fucking goddamn tweet. Oh, that was just a one-off. That was just a one-off. He's going to be there. We went through the entire show. No fucking... He said he's in WWE. It wasn't just a one-off. And you know Triple H wouldn't have made... Triple H made it happen. He wasn't going to allow one of his kids to go to AEW. He's got enough of them over there. AEW World Tag Team title match. Swerve and Glory versus Private Party. Keith Lee hurled Isaiah halfway across the ring, but Isaiah countered by landing on his feet. Isaiah fires back with strikes, but Keith hit him with drop chops. Swerve tagged in, but ate an elbow from Isaiah. And then Isaiah went over the top rope with a tornillo to Swerve. Private Party began to employ tandem offense on Swerve, working him over in the corner. Keith Lee came in and steamrolled Isaiah with a lariat. Mark Quinn tagged out, but Keith Lee quickly pounced on Quinn for a near fall. Swerve tagged in and blasted Quinn with a kick to Quinn's head. Private Party, these kids will just not go down, said Shivani. Swerve finished with Quinn with the JML driver, then pinned him and retained the titles. Backstage, QT Marshall and the Factory playing cards with and dominoes. Powerhouse Hobbs interrupted Lexi Nair interview. Hobbs flipped over the table, infuriated that Starks wasn't taken out yet. QT gave Hobbs his word that the Factory will wipe out Ricky Starks next week. FTW title match. Hook versus Zach Clayton. Hook put Clayton in the red room and forced Clayton to submit right away. That kid doesn't work by the hour, does he? Said Ross. Cool Hand Angelo Parker and Daddy Magic Matt Menard of the Jericho Appreciation Society were backstage with words for Hook. Menard, you walk around here like a tough guy. Hook. Parker, what if Hook's title was held by a sports entertainer? What if? House of Black, Buddy Matthews with Julia Hart versus Serpentico. Buddy blasts Serpentico with a shotgun dropkick, wasting no time. Buddy followed up with a running kick and then whipped Serpentico into the steel guardrail. Serpentico went for the Hurricanrana, but Buddy countered with a powerbomb into the turnbuckles. Buddy Matthews used a pump-handle slam, then planted Serpentico for the victory. The Redeemer, Miro, walked into the ramp, holding Malachi Black's mask. Buddy charged at Miro, but Miro mauled Buddy in the ring. Where are the pagans? Asked Miro. That's how he refers to the members of the House of Black, said Excalibur. Penelope Ford versus Athena. Holy shit, Penelope Ford is still has a job at AEW. If you want to make Miro happy, get rid of her. Hire his wife. I know I just put that out there, but don't put her in the ring. Athena is undefeated in AEW, said Jericho. Penelope charged Athena, but then Athena tackled Ford to the mat. Penelope came back with a splash in the corner. She tried for a cartwheel elbow, but Athena had scouted and blocked it. Penelope rallied back, springboard off the turnbuckles into Athena on the apron. Athena launched Penelope forward into the barricade. Athena came off the top rope with the finisher and then pinned Penelope forward. Athena maintains momentum and undefeated streak here in AEW, said Excalibur. After the match, the baddies jumped in the ring and blindsided Athena. TBS champion Jade Cargill and Stokely Hathaway walked onto the ramp. Jade had a sledgehammer and destroyed Athena's angel wings. Jade got into the ring and used a sledgehammer on Athena's stomach while baddies watched on. Again, somebody fucking poking Triple H, poking the bear. Look what happened. Somebody else used the sledgehammer. They're working for him. They can't fucking come up with original fucking gun. I would have fucking came out with what? A kendo stick or something like that. The original. Come on. Main event. AEW Trios title quarterfinal match. Best friends Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta versus the Truthbusters, Ari Daivari, Parker Bordeaux, and Slim J. Ari hit Chuck from behind and then tagged in Slim J. Taylor countered with Soul Food on Daivari. Trent tagged in, but Chuck and Tent used tandem offense for a near fall on Slim J. Parker ran in and wiped out the best friends. He's thrown everyone around, said Jericho. Slim J tagged in and mocked Orange Cassidy. Freshly Squeezed entered the ring and used a dominant offense on Slim J and Ari. Cassidy nailed Ari with a DDT and then called out Parker. Parker dropped Orange Cassidy with a clubbing blows. He used double clothesline on Trent and Chuck. All three best friends used triple drop kicks on Parker. Ari used a frog splash on Orange Cassidy. Parker pulled Trent out of the ring, but Chuck made the save. Then Trent speared Parker and Orange connected with Orange Punch on Parker, sending Parker over the barricade. Sunny Kiss shoved Orange off the top turnbuckle. Slim J hit diving reverse DDT on Orange for near fall. Orange Cassidy is in serious trouble, said Excalibur. Danhausen popped up and from behind the guardrail put a curse on Slim J. Orange jumped off the shoulders of Trent and Chuck and splashed Slim J, pinning him. Thumbs up for Orange Cassidy and the best friends. They advance in the tournament, said Chris Jericho. So that we're gonna go right into Dynamite, and oh my god, seriously. I bought 3 things from fucking CM Punk. And he acts like this. Whatever at this case. Dynamite is coming from the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio, where Johnny Gargano was going to be, right? Right? Jim Ross and the whole gaggle of people. We're going to go into the Wizard, Chris Jericho, and Daniel Garcia face to face to kick off tonight's show. All might not be well for the Jericho Appreciation Society, said Excalibur. Jericho walked to the ring by himself as Fozzy Judas played. Jericho, you sound loud tonight. Cleveland, welcome to Dynamite. And last week, there was a little bit of an issue between myself, and one of my favorite members of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho introduced Daniel Garcia and invited him out to the ring. The fans in the arena chanted, "You're a wrestler, you're a wrestler," at Daniel Garcia. Jericho told Garcia not to listen to the crowd. Jericho, last week you had a classic match afterwards emotions were high, and you spun me around and slapped me away. I know you were probably disappointed. I just want you to apologize to me. Garcia, You knew how special that moment was to me. You knew how special it was to me to share the ring with my hero, Brian Danielson. 30 minutes with my hero. People are calling it the greatest match in Dynamite history. I hung with my hero for 30 minutes. That match I had last week is the kind of match I always dreamt of having. When Bryce stuck his hand out to when Brian stuck his hand out to to me for a sign of respect, I didn't care if people were calling me a wrestler or a sports entertainer. All I cared about was the moment that you ruined for me, Chris. Jericho, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I want you to remind you there'll be plenty more moments like that for you. Danny, you are the greatest technical sports entertainer in the world today. It's true, and you know it, and I just want you to say it. You're a sports entertainer. Say it. Brian Danielson's music hit. American Dragon Brian Danielson walked down to the ring. Brian, Daniel, I see that your mentor is here trying to bully you into saying you're a sports entertainer. Now listen, you can be whatever you want to be. I respect us wrestling last week. In my opinion, I agree with all these people that you are a wrestler. Jericho, you're a sports entertainer. Danny, look at me and say it. Garcia, stop it. I've got my mentor here and I've got my hero here. And you're trying to make make me try to make me make this decision in public. Leave me alone. Jericho reached out for Garcia, but Garcia shoved Jericho down. Brian Danielson began to smile. Brian, you know Chris. I'm not the biggest fan of sports entertainment, but that was pretty entertaining. Jericho, you know what pisses me off more than anything? That people telling me you're the best professional wrestler in the world. Why? Is it in 15 years I've never once seen it? Remember, I'm the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon. I'm the Lionheart. I know more about professional wrestling than you'll ever know. Brian, if you asked Stu Hart, who do you think is who the better wrestler is? Who do you think he'll say? If we ask your hero Owen you Hart, you who the better wrestler is? You do you think who do you think he'll say? Jericho, I want Lionheart versus the American Dragon. Well, you've got it. September 4th, all out. But until then, watch your back. Jake Hager jumped into the ring and ambushed Brian Danielson. FTR Dax Hardwood versus Sonya Jay Lethal. Interesting scenario. You've got a tag team specialist who wants a single contest. He's got one here tonight, said Ross. Dax locked Lethal into the mat with a shoulder tackle. Lethal countered with an up kick. The two opponents chain wrestled Lethal, cartwheel, and then drop kick Hardwood. Dax and Dax and Jay traded chops in the corner. Dax tossed Lethal overhead with a big body drop. Lethal shoved Hardwood off the turnbuckle. Lethal was looking for a double sledge, but Dax countered it and then hit a 3 German suplexes on Lethal. Lethal came back with the lariat combination for a near fall. Dax Hardwood for near fall on Dax Hardwood. Lethal nailed Hardwood against the steel barricade with a tope suicida. Lethal applied the figure 4 on Dax, but Dax reached the ropes. Dax attempted to counter with the sharpshooter, but Lethal tried to transition. Instead, Dax cradled Lethal for a near fall. Hardwood slingshot Lethal into a Liger bomb for a 2 count. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome, chanted for the fans. Hardwood had Lethal in the sharpshooter, but Sonya jumped on the apron to distract Dax. Lethal and Dax traded strikes and near falls. Lethal grabbed Harwood's trunks, rolled up, and pinned him. That was highway robbery, said Taz. Sanjay, Dax, I told you it would be a trios match at All Out, but I never told you who the other two wrestlers would be. Jay partners will be the Motor City Machine Guns. That's going to be an interesting fucking match. Tony Schiavone is backstage with the AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. I am heartbroken. I have to step down as champion. I'm no longer able to defend because of an injury. On September 4th at All Out, there will be an interim champion. Tony Storm, I hope your dreams come true and you become the interim women's champion, but I will be back. Did you notice that she said Tony Storm? I don't know what to say about this because I like Britt Baker. Sorry. Dr. Britt Baker, TNT. But I'm telling you, Britt Baker is turning it into Charlotte Flair 2.0. Get the androids, get the fucking lithium batteries all fucking lined up. Guaranteed Tony Khan is going to go and give her the title at All Out. Guaranteed. So it will be a fatal four-way. It's going to be Tony Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Hikaru Shida, and Jamie Hayter. Moving on. Billy Gunn versus Colton Gunn. Stokely Hathaway was scouting this match from the front row. Billy hit Colton with a shoulder tackle. The fans chanted, "Who's your daddy?" at Colton. Billy pointed at himself. Colton started to stomp on Billy. Colton tried for a splash, but Billy dodged it and then clotheslined Colton. Billy blasted Colton with a big right hand. Stokely grabbed an Acclaim boombox and attacked the Acclaim from behind. Colton connected with the Colt 45 on his father to pin him. Stokely loved it. He knows where the money is, and I guess he knows it's with the Guns, said Taz. Stokely handed business cards to Colton and Austin, and then the Guns attacked Billy and Caster. AEW Tag Team Champions Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee came out to even up the odds. Keith helped Billy up to his feet. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Kylan King. King got clocked with a sling blade from Britt Baker. King jumped off the turnbuckles with a missile dropkick. Baker drove King's face into the middle turnbuckle. Baker and King exchanged strikes. Baker tried for the stop, but King used a roundhouse kick as a counter. Britt fired back with two thrust kicks and then a curb stomp. Britt Baker applied the surgical glove and submitted King with the lockjaw. Baker grabbed the microphone after the match. Baker, it isn't a shame about Thunder Rosa, but let me remind you, when I was champion, I wrestled with a broken wrist because that's what champions does. Tony, lucky for you, you'll finally be on pay-per-view where someone gives a damn because you'll be in the ring with me. Tony Storm came out to the ring, but Jamie Hayter followed and hit Tony from behind. Sheeta sprinted to the ring with her kendo stick. Hayter, Baker, and Rebel retreated. I have a problem with Hikaru Shida. Why isn't Nyla Rose involved in this? Why isn't it somebody else? She really isn't reliable. She fucking lives in Japan. She does not live in the United States. This is the problem. You don't move here, you don't get these opportunities. You move here, you'll get more opportunities. And that's why I respect Asuka, Kairi Sane, that moved here, Io Sky, so on and so forth. Tony Schiavone backstage with AEW champions, tag team champions Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee and the Acclaim. Keith Lee, we think you'll be worthy challengers for our belts at All Out. Bowens All Out, we'd be taking those championships home with us because everyone loves the Acclaim. This was so fucking controversial. This is why I'm like getting perturbed with Chris Jericho. CM Punk. We have the unification. World Champion CM Punk versus interim champion Jon Moxley. Mox and Punk lock up in the center of the ring with a collar elbow tie-up. Moxley swarmed Punk in the corner with stiff shots. Punk slapped Mox in the face with an open palm strike. Punk used barrages of knees and then high kicks to Mox's head. Punk's clapped to the mat, holding his left foot. Moxley nailed Punk with a King Kong lariat. Mox used hammer and anvil strikes, and then the Death Rider. Moxley used a second Death Rider and pinned Punk. New undisputed champion, Jon Moxley. Did Punk come back too soon? Asked Taz. He got his ass kicked, Jim Ross said. The doctor checked on Punk and his surgically repaired foot. Christian Cage was backstage with Tony Schiavone. Christian Cage. I extended an olive branch to you last week, Jungle Boy. I was giving you one last opportunity to apologize. You have the audacity to challenge me to a match at All Out, and you come and try to maim me. You can't throw anything that I haven't already seen in my career. Jack, I've seen it all. I've done it all. At All Out, you're going to find out I am not average. I'm abnormally, I am special, and at All Out, you'll find out you've not even in my league. Jungle Boy, I accept your challenge. Absolute Ricky Starks came out, and the fucking promo he did was fucking crazy. Starks, let me get down to business, huh? I haven't been my best of moods because, quite frankly, I am hurt. I am pissed off from dealing with Team Taz being over, from losing the FTW Championship, from dealing with the Factory, and now Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought I had a friend in Hobbs. Don't forget Hobbs, you were playing background until you met me in Jacksonville. I should have known when you turned your back on a nightmare, you would have done the same thing to me. You hit me in the neck. I called you a friend, but now I call you a low-down snake where I'm from. We cut the heads off snakes. You bring your $5 ass Chicago and fight me at All Out. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley backstage. Moxley, my time is right now and right this minute. 2022 is my time, and it's right now. Main event, AEW Trios title tournament, Dynamite bracket semifinal. Death Triangle, Pac, Penta, El Zero Miedo, El Zero Miedo, and Ray Phoenix versus the United Empire, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Will Ospreay. Don Callis joined the broadcast booth for this match, which I have no fucking clue why. Ray Phoenix and Will Ospreay began for respective teams. Ospreay blocked a cutter from Ray Phoenix. It broke down soon enough, and all six men began to brawl. Pac and Penta back body drop Ospreay. That triangle soared over the top rope and onto the United Empire. Penta El Zero Miedo chopped Will's chest. Phoenix tagged in and hit Will with an open palm strike to Will's ear. Mark Davis pulled Ray Phoenix's legs out of the ring, and Kyle Fletcher smashed Ray Phoenix with a double stomp. They used a rocket launch, sending Will into Phoenix for a near fall. Osprey is just out otherworldly, said Callis. Davis hammered down with elbow strikes on Ray Phoenix. The best friends, along with Danhausen, watched this match from the front row. Ray Phoenix makes the tag to Penta and blasted Fletcher with a crucifix bomb. Penta was looking for a fear factor, but Davis fought out of it. Osprey clipped Penta with the corkscrew kick. Pac tagged in and German suplexed Will, using Will's momentum against him. Pac tried for a deadlift, German suplex, and after assistance from a Ray Phoenix kick, he planted Will. Pac and Will exchanged forearms. Osprey rocked Pac with an Os cutter. Pac smashed Will with an avalanche brainbuster off the top. Ray Phoenix tried a top rope hurricanrana, but Will landed it on his feet. Pac attempted the Black Arrow, but Will raised his knees in defense. Pac reversed Will's Stormbreaker. Penta got the tag and smashed Davis with the Destroyer. Pac perched himself on the ring post and performed a moonsault onto Osprey and Fletcher. Pac saw someone in the crowd that he thought was Kip Sabian. Pac moved the box from the person's head, but it wasn't Kip under the box. Pac was shocked as was the crowd, but Kip Sabian did make an appearance and attack Pac from behind. Aussie opened single out Ray Phoenix, and then Will finished off Ray with the Os Cutter. The United Empire is advancing. After the match, Kenny Omega and the Bucks walked onto the ramp. Kenny pointed at Will, but Don Callis held him back. So that is that. So that is that. I'm going to give you a little bit more to what I think about this whole situation with CM Punk. He was the stupid idiot to go into the crowd to break his foot. Now, if I was Tony Khan, I'd get rid of the interim. There will be no interim. You fucking have to go out with injury. You get stripped of the title. Just like everybody else gets stripped of the title. This is bullshit. There's no more interim. So when we crown a new AEW World Women's Champion, it's no more interim. And if the person who had the title gets an immediate rematch, has to fight to get the title back. Very simple. Very fucking simple. I'm disgusted at fucking Britt Baker. I'm disgusted. I just cannot believe Tony Khan is actually considering and allowing this to happen on his watch. This would be something that WWE does. You don't fucking do this. You don't fucking do this whatsoever. And Tony's going to allow this to happen. So if I was a women's wrestler, I wouldn't be going to AEW. I'd go to WWE. I go to WWE. I go to any fucking other place than AEW. One of these days, she's going to come across somebody and is going to beat the shit out of her. And I'm hoping that's the case because of the fact is that she needs to fucking know her place. And she knows and know her that like that, somebody's going to take her ass out. There's going to be no more Rebel. There's going to be no more Jamie Hayter. You're going to be on your own, bitch. And I see the day. I see the day. I am actually glad that Paul and Stephanie didn't hire you. Because you would be a bitch. We already have one. And her name is Charlotte Flair. You are now, forevermore, Charlotte Flair 2.0. That is my view. Anybody doesn't like it, they could go fuck off. Please clip this and please give it to Britt Baker. I'll have no problem telling her she is just as bad as Charlotte Flair. Or wait a minute. Are you sleeping with Tony? I mean, Adam's at home. Adam's at home with a torn shoulder. Are you sleeping with the boss? It wouldn't be the first time somebody did that, Vince. I'm putting that out there. I would not be surprised we hear that Britt Baker is sleeping with Tony Khan because she knows that he's single, and if she marries him, she becomes she gets to run fucking AEW. She gets to have that fucking title in her hands whenever the fuck she wants it. So what things that I know, Adam Cole was a stepping stone. She just got the fucking massive prize. And I would not be surprised. Clip it. Clip it. Clip it. And she could be all Miss Innocent all she wants. Bullshit. Bullshit. But that's my fear. Not my fear. That is my feeling. All right? It's a feeling. Usually my feelings are right. My intuition is right. So, that is it. Please do me a favor. Go check out all my social media. Go check out my Instagram, TikTok, also my Twitter, Mel's Mat Chat. Check that all there. Please go check out my Facebook and Snapchat. Go check them out. Please go check out the rest of my stuff on my YouTube. Please like, share, and please, if you find me and you found me, whatnot, please just go and subscribe, turn on my notifications so when I go live, you know about it. Now, disclaimer, this is actually being finished up on early Friday morning. I have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. I don't know if I'm going to get back to go legit live. This is my fucking tag team partner. I'm recording the show. So it is almost 12:30ish. So I want everybody to have a great weekend. Enjoy Friday, whatever the case may be. I'll see you next week for episode 253, I think it is. 253, 253. And I'm going to get you ready. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to try to do a short on my YouTube. And see if I can give you or leave a video on my Twitter. So you'll know. I want everybody to have a great weekend. Go check out harrys.com. Go check out maestroclassics.com. Please go check out liquiddeath.com. deathwishcoffee.com. HOGwrestling.net. They're special on Sunday. I believe, tomorrow's the 20th. Today's the 26th. Yeah, Sunday. Go check that out. It's High Intensity 8 at Terminal 5. Go check that out. If you can't get tickets or if there's no more tickets, you can get it on Fight TV. Go check out 2 Pennsylvania independent companies, our Sanctuary and Outbreak Wrestling. Check the normal social media pages and everything like that. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next weekend for All Out and Clash at the Castle weekend. And, of course, Worlds Collide. Have a good weekend. Love you all. Bye.